Hi, everybody, and welcome to Simply Cards by Kathi. I'm Kathi Andis, and today is Monday, the 10th of March, 2025. I hope you're ready to do a really easy yet fun tutorial that has a little bit of a twist because it has a peekaboo component to it. So we are going to do that. Before we start, I'd like to welcome you. If you're new to my channel, I hope you'll like what you see and hit that subscribe button. And if you're with me live or catching me on the replay, thank you for taking time out of your day to be with me for a short period of time with crafting. So I am going to show you one of the card that we're going to make, but we're going to make it in some different colors. I'm going to show you the products that I'll be using, and then we're going to go ahead and get started. So, hi Tinkerbell, thanks for joining. So let's flip this camera down. So this is the fun fold we're going to be making. It opens up like this. You have your peekaboo window, then it opens and you have your inside. An easy card to make and a lot of fun with lots of possibilities. Now to close it, I simply tuck it under. You can use a embellishment. I used a die cut. So let's get started and see how we make this. Now I am using, let me tell you what I'm going to be using for this. I'm using a couple different things. I am using a stamp set from last year, the Flowers of Beauty. We're going to be using this and the leaves and this small little flower. That's what's on the front of this card. And then I'm going to also use one of my favorite new die sets that was right here. We're going to use the fancy border dies, and the one that we're going to use is this one right here. But you have lots of options for border dies. This was one of the new online exclusives. And then we are using the, where'd it go? We're using some of the framed dies that are new and that we used last week. Not framed seams, but the textured note dies. And these have several rectangular shapes. They kind of fit within one another, and we're going to be using these in a couple different ways. I'm going to show you how to do that. And then the paper we're using is one of the new online exclusives. It's called Lovely Garden. Let me turn it around. I used this one on the card that I showed you. And then just beautiful florals. Now this went with a different stamp set and die. I can't remember the name of it. It's a new online exclusive. I did not get it. I just got the paper. We're going to be using this paper in the card that we make during this video. And then if we turn it over, you have some black and whites, stripes, polka dots. You have like almost like a checkerboard and garden green. You have the leaves. You have some fresh freesia with tiny little flowers. And then I'm not even sure how to describe that, but really beautiful papers. So a wide variety for different occasions. So I am going to start by cutting our cardstock. Now for this card, you're going to need a full piece of cardstock. I am using basic white, and I want to get this up high enough that you can see it. So if you're doing this card, because of the layers, don't use the basic white thick. It's just too heavy. I'm using the regular basic white. You're going to cut this in half. This is an 8.5 by 11. You're going to cut it at 5.5. We're going to score both of them at 4.25, like you would a regular A2 card. And make sure we move our cutting blade out and score that. And now we're going to score the second one at 4.25. Let's do that. Now, one of these we want to take 1/8 of an inch off. So with that, we are going to fold this one. This is going to be, this card base is going to open like this. And then we're going to fold this one. And again, I'm going to fold into the hill. And because these are going to fit together like this, I want to take 1/8 of an inch off this edge because it just makes it a little bit easier to get this fitted and close. So let's just take 1/8 of an inch, and for 1/8 of an inch, you're just going to go in the second mark here, and you can do either side. And I'm just going to take that off. So very, very small piece. And we are done with this. So when we put these together, this will be your front top. This will be what it folds over. So let's start with this one. For this one, I want to make my peekaboo window, but I also want to dress it up and add a border. So I want to show you how I'm going to do that. I'm going to open my card base flat, and this is going to be the area that I'm going to use my border. Now you can eyeball this, but I'm not going to. If I measure this, this measures, let's measure it down here and see if I can get it a little better. This measures at 6.5. So I want to mark my center at 3, 6.5, 3.25. So I'm going to bring in just a mechanical pencil here, and I'm going to go from here to here, and 3.25, I'm just going to make a tick mark. This will wipe off with alcohol, or you can erase it. Okay, now I'm going to take the front of my card, and because this is 5.5, I'm going to mark the center at 2.75. Okay, so let's mark the center here, and that just gives me an easy way to line my die up with the center of my card. So 2.75. All right, I'm going to come over here on 1 inch, make a tick mark, very small, and it will erase, and we're going to do another one right here. And we're done with that. So let me lift that up for you. Can you see the little tick marks there? Now, to line that up, I'm going to line up this, the ends right here with those tick marks. Let me show you. So you have the tick mark here. I'm going to bring the tip or the edge of that to there. Same on this side. But I need to move this down so that my tick mark here lines up with the one on my paper. And this just kind of ensures that it's all pretty even. And let's make sure I'm trying not to get my head in there. And now I'm just going to go ahead and glue it down, tape it down so it doesn't move on me. So I'm just using some low tack tape. And then I'm going to come over here and make sure this is lined up and tack that down. Now I also need to add my window. So for this, I used my dies. And the die that I used for this small window is the fourth largest or fourth smallest. And I want to line it up right around in the center here and make sure I have enough room from edge to edge. And that looks, this I'm just eyeballing, and that looks pretty good. So I'm going to go ahead, sorry for reaching over, and just tack this down here. And not taking any chances, so tacking this. Now we're ready to run this through our cut and emboss machine. So a little bit to get to that point. Now I can't get my cut and emboss machine up here. I don't have enough room. But to cut this, I'm using my large cut and emboss machine because of the size of the card. And you're going to use plate 1, plate number 2, plate number 3, and then I'm going to lay this down and I'm going to turn it around so that I'm only going to run it through part way. And then go ahead and I'm going to stagger my plate a little bit. And we're going to go ahead, that's our sandwich, and I'm going to be right next to you here running this through. And I'll be right back. Okay, we're back. Now, the other reason I didn't want to run it all the way through, I ran it up through here and then ran it back, is I didn't want to bend this end of the card. So let's see what we've got here. Let's take these away and remove our tape. Now you can use washi tape or any low tack tape that you have. All right. And there's our window. All right. I am going to go ahead and erase this little tick mark here, and this erases very easily. Okay. And now when we fold our card, this is the front of our card. Cheryl, can you hear me talking? I'm on YouTube, so I'm hoping you can hear me. Okay, you can hear me. Good. So this is our card front. It's going to open like this. Now we're going to take that other piece that we had, and remember we cut the edge off. That shorter side is what's going to fit into here. So I'm going to go ahead and apply my adhesive. I am going to use the multi-purpose glue. If anyone else is out there and can't hear me, please drop me a note. I'm not sure, but it looks like Cheryl can hear me now, so that's a good thing. So this is a new glue bottle, so let's see if, here we go. It's kind of making a mess, but we'll just drag it around with the tip. You just want to get it around the edges. Good. And then I'm going to close this up, and I'm going to match up my edges because I want those to match top, bottom, and the right edge of the card with the fold. Can you see that? There may not be anybody talking. It's kind of been quiet. So here's our card base. So let's go from there. Now, remember, we cut this out. You can use this later on for something else. You can use it for here. I'm going to show you a couple tricks with that. So I want to add some design to this. And the reason being, I'm also going to see it when my front fold is closed. So I'm using basic black, and I cut this at 4 1/8 by 5 3/8. And then I used a piece of designer series paper, 4 by 5 1/4. And we're going to go ahead and adhere those. Hi, Linda. Thank you for joining. I'm so glad you're here. All right. So we're going to go ahead and add this, and it's just because it's 1/8 of an inch, you're just going to have a real small border all the way around. The reason I picked black is to pick up that little bit of black in the leaves and in the flowers, and I thought it would really make this card pop. So we're ready to adhere this to the left front. I guess I'm going to call it a front because we're using 2 card bases. And let's add this to here. Again, a small border because it's 1/8 of an inch. Slide that up a little bit. All right. There's one side. Now we're ready to decorate this. I chose to use this is crushed curry, the yellow in this paper. So I chose to use crushed curry. Now, if you don't want to layer, hi Gina, thanks for joining. If you don't want to layer, you could go ahead and just use this white layer that you cut out. I wanted to add a little bit more to it. So I chose and cut a layer with the same die out of crushed curry. You can glue this in or pop it up. I'm going to glue it in because I'm going to pop up my white layer. So let's go ahead and add some green glue here. And to do this, you want to make sure that you close the front of your card. And then you're just going to set it in there so that it fits within that rectangle. I'm going to move it over just a touch. There we go. And then just press it down. All right. All right, now we're ready for the focal point. Now, for my focal point, we're going to add a sentiment up at the top. I am using sentiments from Unbounded Love. And I'm using the hope sentiment with this is believing in a brighter tomorrow. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to stamp my greeting right there. And then we're going to add some flowers. And then I'm going to show you, I want to frame my peekaboo just so that I can, I just want to make it pop a little bit more. So there's our hope. Now, for my flowers, and I did do these ahead of time because I was focusing more on showing you how to put the card together. Hi, Mary. Thanks for joining. I'm using Flowers of Beauty. I used the big one here. I stamped a small one and then one leaf. Now, I stamped using crushed curry. And I stamped the outline first, and then I stamped off, it's a 2-step stamp to fill in my center. And I had some leaves here, and they seem to have disappeared. Well, okay, we might be going without the leaves here. And I'm sure they'll pop up. So we're going to put this right here. I'm going to pop that in. And where'd my leaves go? Well, they're going to show up. They always do. It amazes me that I lose something, and it's always in front of me every time. So this is going to pop up right here. All right. And then I'm going to put this in on my mat, and I am going to pop this one up with dimensionals. So let's grab some big ones here. And pop this in there. And I'm going to put one in the center. Now, one thing I find about fun folds is sometimes they don't stay closed. And especially this one, because it has 2 card bases, so it's pretty thick. Let's close this up here and add this right in the center. There we go. Down a little bit. That looks good. All right. And we're supposed to have a leaf here somewhere. I want to frame this. It looks too plain. Now, something else you could do with this front is once you have cut your window out, you could go ahead and dry emboss right up to the fold. I did not do that today. So I want to show you how to make our frame. So this is the die that I used to cut the window out. And in order to make the frame, I need to go up one larger of the same of the rectangles. So I'm going to lay this one down, and I'm using black again. And then I'm going to lay this one inside, and you want to center it so that you just have a nice even edge all the way around to make your frame. And that looks pretty good. So I'm going to take some tape here and let go, and we'll redo it because I had to tear the tape. All right, so let's try that again. But this is a great way to make a frame. It doesn't matter if you're using rectangles or squares or circles. You're just going to pair them up, 2 in size next to each other, and simply die cut, and you'll have a beautiful frame to outline your window. So let's all right. That looks pretty good there. Let's tape that down. And I'm going to run this through my die cut and emboss machine. So I'm right here with you, right next door. And you're going to hear a large click. All right. And then when you take these off, and let me peel my tape off. You do have a die cut that you can use for something else. Now, had I done this and used black instead of the crushed curry, I'd have had both my pieces, my background layer, and I also would have this great little frame. So here's the frame. Now I want to add this right around my die cut window. So you could use the backing, the adhesive backing, to apply to your cardstock before you die cut this. I find it just as easy to add some glue to this and just glue it down. All right. So I'm going to bring this in, and I want to make sure that my top front of my card is flat. And then just work it right around that die cut and give it a good press. Once I have it in place, I open it up and just go right around the frame and press it down. So let's see here. I have just a little bit of adhesive up here in the corner. So I'm going to take that off with my glue eraser. So here is our front. Now this may stay shut because of the peekaboo window, but I have a couple more things to show you. So one thing is my sentiment. I want to just adhere this right across the bottom here. So I'm going to do that. You can put some Stampin' Dimensionals, cut them down and put them on here. I'm simply going to add it right across the bottom of my layer. So I'm just going to add a little bit of glue. Make sure it's evenly placed. Oops. And there's that. Now, to hold this closed, I did that small flower for a die cut. And I just put some mini dimensionals on one side that I'm going to adhere to this green DSP. But to do that, I need to close. I'm going to use this as like a tuck for the front flap. So close this up. I'm going to adhere this over here. And then to open and close your card, you simply easily open it, and to close it, then bend it and tuck it in. Now for the inside, I went ahead and I used a piece of 4 by 5 1/4. I used it for backing. I used my white, and then I pulled in my colors from the front, the crushed curry and the designer series paper. And we're going to go ahead and adhere this here. All right, so let's do that. And this covers up that inside flap that you adhered to the first card base. So here's your fun fold. So Kim, oh, I'm glad you like it, Gina. Kim, thanks for joining. Glad you like it. So here's our 2 cards, one in a color and then one with a white card base, but beautiful paper. And when these stand up, they really do display quite pretty. You can see the window. Hopefully you're going to see it from the top. But it displays very nicely in a couple different ways. So let me bring you back to me, and we'll tuck this in here. Okay. I hope you enjoyed that fun fold. I really enjoyed playing with it and then sharing it with you. I hope you give it a try. Now, the tutorial for this will be up by the end of the day tomorrow. I am behind on putting up the card design layouts. Things have been crazy. I will not be doing a video on Thursday. I am leaving for Raleigh for Stampin' Up's on stage, and I'll be gone Thursday through the weekend. So I will be back with you on Monday evening. I hope you'll take some time for crafting and have fun. I'm anxious to come back and show you some of the new stuff that we're going to see at the conference or convention. And otherwise, I will be back with you on Monday at 7. If you enjoyed today's video, please consider giving me a thumbs up. It helps me grow my channel. Feel free to share it. And if you give it a try, consider posting it over on my Facebook page. We'd all love to see what you make. I'm sure you will inspire someone else to give it a try. Have a great evening, everybody. I'll be anxious to see you on Monday. Bye-bye.